In this video, Thomas Ropel from Sellics explains the importance of Amazon PPC campaigns and the setup of ad groups, keyword harvesting and bid optimization, and he shares tips on how you can better optimize your Amazon PPC campaigns. If you want to get a free Amazon PPC evaluation, check the link below for Sellics, which is an Amazon advertising automation software. They have a Sellics Benchmarker tool which can help you to evaluate your Amazon PPC performance. This video is hosted by Lisette Lees. She works with different Amazon brands. And also, if you like video and what we create in general, click the like below this player and subscribe to our channel.
Hi there, happy to have you here on Orange Click channel again. So could you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the PPC space, which is kind of the reason why we have invited you here today to talk about how to optimize PPC better.
Hey, Lisette, first of all, thank you so much for having me here again. Right, so I think it's a pleasure to be here. And yes, so for those of you that don't know me, just a very quick intro. My name is Thomas. I am the CMO and co-founder of Sellics. Sellics is one of the leading all-in-one Amazon PPC softwares in the industry. I myself have been in the PPC paid marketing space for almost 15 years. I've worked almost for 10 years at Google. I've worked at different agencies, at my own agency. So I optimized many hundreds, thousands of different accounts throughout those years. Very passionate about this topic. And yeah, that's, I guess, also the main reason why I'm here again today.
Okay, very good, very interesting. So you definitely know a lot about advertising and PPC campaigns for Amazon sellers. And today you will explain a little bit more in depth how to work with PPC. How should we start? Do you want to introduce a little bit about Sellics first and its software, or do you want to go straight to the PPC part?
Yeah, I think we can probably go straight in, right, and just go directly into the main topics that I think will be probably most exciting for most of you. And this is how to really make more money with Amazon PPC. So for those of you that don't know Sellics, right, so you can go to sellics.com. You will see basically this page where you will see the most important things. We talked in the last two videos on this channel. We talked about the product analyzer, right? So we had a big deep dive into the so-called Sellics Benchmarker, which is a fantastic free tool, which really helps you to understand the growth opportunity of your products, right? So it will show you very nicely your performance on the monthly level. It will show you why your performance has evolved in a certain direction. And you will also see here the specific benchmarks of your product portfolio. So you can get a much better understanding. Do you have a good or bad ACoS, CPC, click-through rate, conversion rate, all of these factors, so that you know where you should really focus on. So if you're interested in that, you can just check out the other two videos which we had, which were both focusing on the Sellics Benchmarker, one with a big focus on the benchmarks, and the other one on a big focus on the monthly performance analysis. But what we want to talk about today is the other thing, which you also will see here at the top, and this is something which we call smart campaigns. Because when we talk about smart campaigns, then this is in the end the action that we highly recommend for anyone that analyzes their account, right? So analyzes the performance within Amazon PPC. Then smart campaigns can be an incredible, powerful solution to really get your performance to the next level. In order to quickly get a better understanding what smart campaigns actually does, we can already see this here a little bit on the page. The majority of the goals that anyone has who is active on Amazon PPC is to either make more sales or to increase profitability. Profitability, this is what is mostly measured in the Amazon PPC space with ACoS. So what you basically pay per earned dollar. Basically, like 30% ACoS means you're paying 30 cents to earn $1 in Amazon PPC. These are the two things, right? So you either want to make more money or you want to be more profitable with it. And now when we looked at about the benchmarker, we saw many things that you can do, that you can optimize. But the reality is that this can be incredibly time consuming. And not just that, it also can be very complicated. Because if you really want to optimize your bidding, your targeting, your campaign structures, all of this, it's not just that this is a huge amount of daily, weekly work. It's also that it requires a huge amount of know-how and knowledge about PPC in general, but also about statistics, probabilities, and everything that kind of like connects to that. So it's quite a big thing. And this is the reason why we have invented the Sellics Smart Campaigns. We launched this a few months ago, and we're incredibly proud of the results of these first months, because what we really have seen, and you can also see this here basically on this page, the majority of products that have been running via Sellics Smart Campaigns have seen a very strong increase on the sales side. And also most of them have hit their ACOS goals, so just at a little bit above, but it's also expected, especially if you start your campaigns. So what do these smart campaigns in the end do? There are basically three things when it comes to really thinking about smart campaigns. And the first thing where many Amazon advertisers and many Amazon sellers really struggle with, the first one is, what is the real setup? If you think about the campaign setup in Amazon PPC, you have campaigns, you have ad groups, you have then different targets on the ad group level, but you also have different type of campaigns. You have auto campaigns, you have manual campaigns, and then you have many different targeting options, and you have different formats. So for anyone that starts to create campaigns, there are already a huge amount of different possibilities how you can create campaigns. And what we are seeing, or what we've seen in the last couple of years, is that many mistakes are happening exactly at that level, because the campaigns that have been created, or the ad groups that have been created, they're normally, in most cases, not that, let's say, thought through, that they will really help you in an ongoing way to optimize your accounts. So what Sellics Smart Campaigns will do, it will actually create everything for you with one click. It will create 3 campaigns, it will create 5 ad groups. You just need to select the product that you want to create the campaigns for. And then Sellics Smart Campaigns with one click will create you the best proven structure in the industry, which has in the last couple of years delivered the best performance in the market. And that just with one click, and we'll see this in a second, how this actually looks like in reality. Then as soon as you have the structure, you already have a very big, let's say, thing that you achieved, right? But it's just a structure. The real optimization happening afterwards. And the big 2 levers when it comes to optimization of Amazon PPC campaigns is on the targeting side and on the bidding side. And in order to optimize both, there are 2 very powerful strategies which Sellics Smart Campaigns will do automatically for you. The first one, and this is what is called keyword harvesting, will really help you to move your good performers into more, let's say, into campaigns and ad groups with more control, and bad performers will automatically be removed from your campaigns and your ad groups. So we'll look at this in a second, but basically the principle is a little bit divide and conquer. You really want to have much more of those keywords that really work well for you and much less for those that don't. And you also want to ensure that the campaign structure really helps you to have full control of those that really perform well, so that you can maximize the sales with them. And keyword harvesting basically does that automatically. So it will scan for you good performers, bad performers, and will move them to the right campaigns, ad groups automatically for you, so that you don't need to do any of this manually. And the other thing is bid adjustments. So bidding is something, there are many books about bidding. Bidding can be incredibly complex. And if you really go deeper into bidding, you will notice very quickly that it's actually very complicated, because you have many different dimensions. You always need to ask yourself the question, do you really have enough data that you can already make a choice if the bid should be higher, should be lower? And then you also do not know how much should you actually increase the bid. 10%, 50%, 100%, you don't really know. So this is where automatic bid adjustments come into play, because if you use AI for this, then AI can answer these questions in a much more powerful way than you normally can do, because it knows from historical data, from huge databases, which bid adjustments make sense when you have enough data to actually really make this call that you should make bid adjustments, and it can do all of this automatically. And that's why Smart Campaigns will also auto-enable bid adjustments for you so that the bidding will be optimized automatically for you. You don't need to do anything. So all of these three things, creating the perfect setup, right? 3 campaigns, 5 ad groups across auto campaigns and manual campaigns, keyword harvesting rules, which basically will ensure that your targets, your keywords will move from the right ad groups to the right other ad groups, and that the not performing ones will be neglected, or not neglected, will be put as negatives. And then the bid adjustments, so that you also automatically get your bidding optimized where you should bid higher and lower. All of these 3 things will happen with Sellics Smart Campaigns with basically 1 click. So how does it look like? If you will start, and you can start a free trial of Sellics, you can also go there if you have the benchmarker. If you receive your benchmarker, you will also see all of your products. You can then also start a trial from here, right? And as soon as you start the trial, you will basically come into this interface. So Sellics has many, many, many different other software solutions as well. Here you will see the benchmarker report on the left side. You will see the main reporting dashboard, profit dashboard, keyword research, SEO, et cetera, right? So there are many other things. But what we would like to really focus on today is the advertising piece. And within advertising, you will see your campaigns, but you will also see the Smart Campaigns tab here, right? And within this tab, the only thing that you actually now need to add is basically an ASIN and click on this button. So we can just quickly do this, right? So if you go back to our view here for our demo account, we can just go here. We can select a product, right? We can copy this ASIN. We can go back, right? I opened this one here. We paste the ASIN here. We can also copy the SKU. We paste it here, right? We select the marketplace and we click on Create Sellics Smart Campaigns. And that's pretty much almost it. Now, the next step that you only need to do is to basically say, what should be your target ACoS? The guide will help you with recommendations. If you either want to focus on profitability, if you really want to grow sales while break even, right? So you want to maximize your sales, but basically not making any loss. Or if you want to overall just grow your sales as much as possible. These are normally the 3 main strategies that most apply. Either really want to maximize your sales, or maximize your sales, but you still want to be break even, or you really want to maximize your profit. All of the 3 have the different advantages and disadvantages. And as you will see here, the wizard will recommend you which ACoS you should set, because in Sellics, you also can integrate your MWS API in Amazon, which means that your profitability will also automatically be calculated. And based on your profitability of your product, we can automatically calculate all of these metrics and suggest you which ACoS goal should be the best one for you. And if you basically then select that, right, you can just say, okay, I want to, let's say, I want to grow my sales, but I want to be break even. I really don't want to basically get too much negative on this product. You select the budget, right? There's a budget which you normally can do. Most people start, or most advertisers start with €50, but depending on the size of your business, you also can obviously start much higher or much lower. The good thing about budget is that basically you can adjust this, right? You can adjust this on a daily level. Then in the next step, you can just select keywords. It is recommended to select 5 keywords, which you think definitely makes sense. This will speed up the performance of Smart Campaigns a little bit. If you don't do this, also don't worry, because in the end, through keyword harvesting and the setup, all of this will happen automatically. So you can see this is basically just, let's say, speeding up the performance, right? We can just add 1 keyword here. And then in the next step, you already come to the preview. So what you see here is what essentially has been now created. So you see there have been 3 campaigns, right, that have now automatically will be created for you. There will be 5 ad groups. You will see that there's an auto campaign and there are 2 manual campaigns. And you also see here below what will exactly happen, right? So it will happen that you will have the research campaigns, you'll have the performance campaigns, and all of these rules, the harvesting, the bidding, all of this will happen automatically for you as soon as I would click on this blue button. Then everything for you would be created, the campaigns would be running, and all of this, as you've seen here, literally takes less than, you can probably do it in 60 seconds, right? If you just really go quickly through this, something which normally, even if you would know what you need to do, take roughly 1 or 2 hours. And here, basically, you'll literally get it into 3 clicks.
Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for this overview. So I think you now focused more on the PPC part, but before I go more into depth about some of the questions regarding PPC, I wanted to ask how important it is to actually work on the product detail page before even getting to set up PPC campaigns.
Very important, right? I think the reason being is that PPC and the performance of PPC depends a lot of how good or bad your product generally performs in the industry. Which means if you have a very low conversion rate already in your organic sales, then it will be very difficult to be successful in PPC. If on the other side, you will have already a very good conversion rate, then the likelihood that you will be very quickly successful in PPC is much higher. So first, ensuring that your product is well optimized, your product detail page is well optimized, that you have good images, that you've done your SEO, right? That you really ensure that the price is competitive, that you ideally have a few good reviews. All of these topics still remain very, very important. And also in the Sellics software, you have access to all of these modules as well, right? If you still want to ensure that you get basically the foundation covered. This is something that we call advertising readiness, right? So you really want to be ready before you advertise. And I think it's easy to understand, because if your product in the end, doesn't sell well organically, right? You can throw money at it, but probably most of the money will be burned because your product is just not ready yet to really perform well in a competitive market.
Okay, very good answer. So for those sellers who are about to launch their next product or first product, how should they first set their PPC goals? So, or what could be their expectation towards PPC results? Should they optimize first for growing sales or either being profitable?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I mean, there are these 2 cases, right? So this is one case if you have a real brand new product, right? And there's a second case, even if you have already, existing products, what are realistic expectations for your Amazon PPC performance? And I think these are two very important topics, which I think many in the industry sometimes tend to get wrong. Starting with a brand new product. If you have a brand new product, it is important to consider the first couple of weeks and months as the so-called honeymoon phase, right? This is the launch phase. This is the phase where there's not that much data about the performance of your product. So Amazon also doesn't have enough data about the performance of your product. So it will, to a certain degree, treat your product in their preferred way, because it should get a decent chance, right, in the end, to really succeed in the market and to win basically new consumers. But this period, it's not very clear how long it takes. In many cases, a couple of weeks, right? In this period, you really need to ensure that you do a very, very good and decent job, which means that the listing is optimized, right? That you do everything that we just mentioned, and also that you do PPC in order to really boost the start, right? It is very difficult to launch a product which has been already for 5 months in the marketplace, right? Nothing happened there. And then you start PPC on it. Much more tricky than if it's a brand new product that you can support with PPC. And in the beginning, you should not really focus on profitability. In the beginning, it's really to get those sales, to get organic rankings. So you should really see more PPC for a brand new product as an initial investment, almost, right? I would treat it as the same budget bucket as if you would give products for free, right? It's pretty much the same thing. You really want to first get exposure to your product. You want to get reviews. You want to get obviously new buyers. You want to get consumers. You want to get these all of this. And so in the beginning, I would really treat this as, let's say, the launch phase, where profitability doesn't play a role. It's much more about generating sales.
Okay, makes sense. And let's say when sellers are already having nice sales volume and are now thinking, okay, now it's the time I should start optimizing for profitability, then what could be the first steps or the main steps sellers could do, let's say even without using any software?
Yeah, I think so. Starting obviously with PPC, right, is the first most important thing. And then as soon as you start with PPC, right, you start to create your campaigns, you create your auto campaigns, your manual campaigns, and all of this again. Everything we've just discussed, you can also do manually, right, if you know what you do, but it's just quite a huge amount of work, right? But it also can be done like this. To now quickly focus on the group that already has active products, right? And now they want to go into PPC. So they have organic sales, they generate sales, and now they want to start. They create their first campaigns. And it doesn't matter if they do this with Sellics, if they do this manually, if they do this with another software. The same, let's say, phases will happen across the board. It's just important to know that these phases will happen. Because if you don't know that these phases will happen, you very quickly might come to the wrong conclusions and make lots of damage to your PPC campaigns. And that's basically what we see here in the Sellics Smart Campaigns guide. So as soon as you start with Sellics Smart Campaigns, you'll also get different guides. But basically what you see here is that every campaign, right, and this is basically assuming that there's one product for your campaign, will go through 3 different phases in the beginning, right, as soon as you start Amazon PPC. There's the learning phase, there's the calibrating phase, and there's the scaling phase. And what you see here is on the x-axis, you see time, and the y-axis, you see your ACoS. And there are basically 2 things that you can already see quickly here. The first thing is that the fluctuation of your ACoS in the beginning will be very high. It will be very high. So you should not be scared if on one day, right, your ACoS might be 80%. Then day 2, it's 20%. Day 3, it's again 90%. Right? Day 4 is 30%. That's a normal thing because in the beginning, there's not that much data. So every new conversion, every new order will change the numbers drastically. So in the beginning, be very cautious of looking at KPIs, right? Because you need normally, and we say here, at least 30 orders until you will see some kind of normalization that you can actually say, okay, this basically is what you can expect. As soon as you've done that, you can slowly come into this calibrating phase. In the calibrating phase, you can also now start to fine-tune your ACoS a little bit more. Because the other thing next to the fluctuations that you see in this chart is that your average ACoS will be in the beginning higher than in the calibrating phase. In the calibrating phase, it will be higher than in the scaling phase, which is actually your final target ACoS. And the reason for that is that the system needs to learn. And it doesn't matter if you use Sellics Smart Campaigns and other software, if you do this manually. Your optimization strategies need to learn what works and what doesn't, which keywords work, which bids work, what should be negative, where should you bid higher, where should you bid lower, which setup makes sense, all of this. This takes time. So until you can really expect your target ACoS, right, to really hit your target ACoS, you should really wait normally up to 100 orders. In some cases, a little bit earlier than that, right? But you should expect that still in the area from 30 to 100 orders, you will normally not operate at your final goal. And only then, right? And only then you really have enough volume, enough data to start to really focus on maximizing your profit. And I think this is something that many get wrong when it comes to optimization of campaigns, because they're here in this learning phase, they see a very high ACoS, they panic, then they stop, right? Or they make some changes, right? They increase this bit significantly. They add the keywords that only had 3 clicks as negatives, or they add total other things. And then obviously everything doesn't work out as someone would hope. So the best way, again, is to use something like Sellics Smart Campaigns that will do all of this automatically for you. But of course, you can also do this yourself. And if you do this yourself, you just, however, still need to be very aware of the different phases and how to deal in each of the different phases with what you will see in your performance numbers.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for this detailed explanation. So when we go now to the keywords, then I know the tool knows which keywords are good performance and which are bad performance, but how do you generally make the decision? Is the keyword good enough to keep in the campaigns or not?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the great thing about Amazon PPC is that Amazon has invented something that is called automatic campaigns already a couple of years ago. And what they basically do, they scan Amazon for relevant keywords for you. So they will expose your product to many, many, many different keywords on Amazon. So you can think about it like a research algorithm. So it will show your product. Let's say you sell shoes, right? It will show your product for black shoes, for cheap shoes, for expensive shoes, for Adidas, for Nike, right? And it will basically try, okay, where do people actually click on your ad? So it's like a basic, let's say, research algorithm. And what you now can do with harvesting, and that's where the harvesting concept comes into play, you can now look and say, hey, people actually bought my shoes, right, when they searched for cheap shoes. And they bought my shoes when they searched for blue shoes, right? These were very good keywords for you. In this case, you want to have dedicated control of these keywords, and you harvest, that's where the name harvest comes from, right? The term harvest, you harvest those keywords from the auto campaign to your manual campaign so that you can now target them directly and maximize your sales. And other keywords, like let's say, for example, yellow shoes, right? Or Nike shoes, they don't work really well for you. So let's say people have seen them 50 times, but no one clicked. Or on another keyword, they clicked 10 times, but no one bought. So as soon as a certain threshold happened, you can then say, hey, please, Amazon, stop doing that. This doesn't seem to be a working keyword for me. So please let's put this as a negative, and you can put it as a negative. So by using the automatic campaigns of Amazon, you can have an automated flow that will all the time scan Amazon for new relevant targets. And then you can either take them and target them directly, or you can say, no, they're not worthwhile, right? My money, my attention, basically. And you can then just put them as negatives.
Okay, very good. So before we wrap up for the day, do you have anything else to share with our viewers that would help them to really do good with their PPC campaigns this year?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most important thing, right, in my opinion, this year, if you really want to be successful on Amazon, is in the end to be really, really successful on Amazon PPC. And this is not something, in my experience, that can be done a little bit on the side. I still talk with many sellers, I still talk with many vendors where this is a topic, right? But then sometimes you get an intern, or you get a working student, or you get someone, right, that doesn't see you there, or you do this a little bit in your evening, right, and optimize stuff. This doesn't give the full topic the full justice. This is such an important pillar of your success on Amazon. And if you have already a very strong and good strategy for Amazon PPC, you have a great setup, you have either a great software agency or a great in-house team, perfect, right? Then I would suggest double down on this, right? But if you don't, I think now would be latest, right? A very good time to really think about how to do this right. And again, there are many ways, from softwares to agencies to in-house teams to using automated solutions like Sellics. Sellics also has managed service offering as well. If you don't want to deal with this at all, right? There are also offers like that. It doesn't matter in the end, right? As long as it works for you, but just really taking this topic seriously, because we're seeing every day basically that Amazon, pushes ads more and more, right? It doesn't matter what you search for. It doesn't matter how good you have been organically. It gets just tougher to get these sales, and PPC gets more important. And the later you start, the more difficult it also will be for you, right? Because everyone else has a longer history, they have more data. And if you wait until you really go deep into this topic, then it just will be more difficult for you to really capture the market share that you probably deserve.
Okay, so finish watching this video and start smashing on PPC. So could you once more explain how Sellics can help Amazon sellers, and also what's the best way to reach out to you or learn more about what Sellics offers?
So the two best ways that Sellics in the end can help you are either you can use the software, right? You can use the software and we will provide you with an expert that will once a month talk with you. It's an advisor, it's an advertising advisor. This is one of the options, right? So this is the option if you still like to be in full control, do the optimization yourself, you have a good understanding of Amazon PPC, then this is the right way for you. And we have a second option. This is for everyone that says, you know what, I either do not want to go much deeper into this topic, or I don't have the time, I don't have the bandwidth, right? Sellics, please do it for me. Then we have the managed service offering. This is the choice for you in these cases, because this is then when Sellics will create the campaigns for you, will optimize them for you, will all the work for you, will get the reports. You can basically just look and watch your sales growing. So that's the second option. And of course, there's the benchmarker, right? So if you're just interested in really getting your monthly analysis, where you have potential, where you can grow, what's happening month over month with your business, then the benchmarker is there. It's free, right? So you can also just look into that. So that's the, let's say, basic solution.
Okay, very good. So thanks again, Thomas, for joining me today and for providing such valuable information to all of our viewers. So wish you good luck in your business and hope to see you soon again.
Thank you so much.
If you would like to automate your Amazon PPC campaigns, check out for Sellics, the link below in the description. And also you're welcome to try their free Amazon PPC evaluation tool called Benchmarker that reports your Amazon PPC performance and provides actionable insights on how to improve the big 4 PPC metrics. And now I recommend you to check the other video where Thomas explains how to use the Benchmarker tool to analyze Amazon PPC data of your competitors.